be honest with you, I already feel like I'm in vacation mode. I mean, I know my big break does not start until literally like this coming weekend, you know, but it just already feels like I'm already in that mode. I know I'm long waiting to have more time for myself to be able to relax the way that I want it, the normal kind of relaxation that I want, and that time will finally come again. And once again, I heard it's going to be a couple weeks that I'm going to have this big break. So, like I said, I got to take it full advantage because I'm already starting to have plans or even make plans with some of the guys like Russ and Dewey, especially with Dewey's birthday coming up next month. He wants to celebrate sooner, and so I made sure that it was going to be on the last week of August. So that's pretty much all set in stone as far as celebrating his birthday and getting it done and over with. Um, so that's done, and obviously we have Russ and Ray's, their birthdays as well. Obviously, for me personally, since after I did what I did toward the end of January, I was not able to celebrate Russ's birthday. I was just, I needed time for myself, and now that I'm back with these guys, and especially since I pretty much canceled my entire solo plan, you know, that I wanted to push further, I'll make sure I'm not going to let it get to that, despite me just having to deal with what I'm dealing with, especially with what happened earlier this morning. So, and the fact that I'm still in this dump, mind you. So, you know, I'll make sure to make that happen as well for Russ's birthday. That I'll make sure I celebrate it, and for Ray's birthdays, we can celebrate together. You know, that means getting a boss and Neil involved as well. So those plans, that plan also is set for early next month. Interesting turn of events on how we're celebrating some of these guys' birthdays, just not on their no their respective birth months. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I remember we celebrated Carlos's birthday in 2022 in April, and Julio's birthday is like in December, and I think that was twice in a row. So and it's not always that you know that for some of these guys that we're not able to celebrate their birthdays on their respect and on their actual months, their actual birth months, and things happen, and they may be busy with other things going on the week of their birthday, or their actual birthday, or the week after, or practically the entire month. It just happens in life. So yeah, I just thought I'd get that out there, and I also won't forget the basketball shoot around with Russ that been wanting to do in my home court as a visitor, and maybe and as me being the host, as a home game against him in the very same park. I also want to make that happen. So as it pertains to this particular topic right here, as I wanted to discuss, there's a reason why I have these five guys up, and for sure these guys are gonna be the ones, like, no matter, like, regardless of them seeing me in the worst possible way that I've ever felt and expressed, whether they're in shock, silently shocked, or what have you, whatever they hear me say or they've heard me say in the past, especially as it pertains to them, in which, to their credits, I know they don't mean what I've said. It's I think for sure, like, it's safe for me to say that these guys are going to stick around. I know that for sure. These are going to be the guys. Russ, Ray, Prince Albert, Carlos, Eugene, boss, this guy. These are the main five. I know Dewey's another one, especially after the second group text incident. I know I don't have him on here, but yeah, I think, but I just think for the sake of the layout here, you know, I know I'm including Dewey in there as well because, you know, even after the first and second group text incidents, he is able to, you know, to thicken up his skin, meaning still able to understand where I'm coming from and all that, and especially as I, as he along with these other guys have kept seeing my worst, time and time again, especially after I reconnected with some of these guys, and to the point where they still stuck around. So I got to give all these guys their credit. So that means I'm just going to have these guys for life, especially guys like Russ and Ray and, and even Neil, a boss. They're all going to stick around. Like I said, it's safe for me to say that these guys are going to be around in my circle for life, be it at my best or worst. And, I know there's a few other friends that I know who had the thick skin, and unfortunately now that they've moved on to better things in life, it's like now it's to the point where they're not wanting to deal with my worst at this point, so it is what it is. I respect their boundaries, and if they cannot stand what's happening with me and all that, despite all of these guys just knowing that I'm taking getting the mental help that I need, then it's just they may just sooner or later just fade off from me, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Now, one of those few friends is Mari, my best friend. I know I wanted to say that she'll definitely stick around. Right now we have not talked since that one argument, and I haven't even bothered to message her, and I'm just letting her be at this point because she was clearly pissed off, and I know that it's already was it it's already been about this is already the fourth day. So I do want to say she is one of these five guys, but she's part of she's alongside with these five guys here and Dewey, but I don't know, man. Like right now, I just like with us not talking again, and especially after not that long ago we had that 1 month silence for practically the entire month of May. I mean, who knows at this point how long it's going to take. So, I mean, I want to say yes, she'll still stick around. But, right now, like, it's kind of like I'm not really saying that 100% with ruthless aggression, 100% ruthless aggression in that, that she's going to, stick around. But I'm pretty sure she will. I'm going to cross my fingers and say she will, at some point we will reconnect again. But I don't know, like I'm not 100% right now on that. But I'm sure that, as I cross my fingers that she will definitely give me another shot. So, but yeah, I just thought I'd bring this up. Like these five guys right here are the ones that are definitely going to stick around no matter what with me. And these are guys that are just I'm most comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? They can see me in the weirdest ways possible, in the worst ways possible, in the best ways possible, in the craziest ways possible. These guys are gonna be my longtime friends, and these guys have the thickest skin. Just even if whatever I said, like especially with what transpired this past week, yesterday, and even the weeks before that, these guys are, to their credit, they're able to stick around. So these are definitely the friends for life. And I know I don't really say enough about, how appreciative I am to have friends like these guys. And, I'm saying it now here. And so whether these guys see my videos or not, you know, I'm just letting them know these guys are definitely it, and they're still gonna be around for a long time. Even in the next decade or so. So you know, I just thought I'd bring this up because you know I just want. I know this is a nut bars related topic, but I'm just talking about these guys in specific. So I just kind of wanted to warm my heart here, and especially as it pertains to the fact that yes, I'm still in the group chats and I'm being who I am, and you know without the services of Russ and Dewey and a boss, like you know I don't think, like, I don't know how I can put myself back in the kind of vibe that they bring, you know, and especially Russ himself, like, you know, who is definitely a vibe connector, one of the top vibe connectors for the Nutballers at this point. So for me, bringing back Russ and Dewey, you know toward the end of June, I think that was the right decision, and and now we're complete again. So I just thought that having these guys, and it gives me a reason to have a topic like this. So that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that. So you guys, let me know what you think. Peace out.